Hi there. So those of you that couldn't make our meeting yesterday on October 31st, I just wanted to go over a few things with you. So here you find the 6-week Crestview PBL cycle for professional learning for the 18-19 school year. These are some of the items that we went over yesterday. So the first thing we did is we looked at designing projects, and we started off with a describe the ideal graduate, um, which was interesting because we got a lot of soft skills that are not exactly taught in classrooms anymore. It's things like collaboration and teamwork, communication, problem solving. Being able to look at a problem and actually come up with a solution. Those are the things that we came up with, and we were talking about. Well, how do students learn these qualities of an ideal graduate? How are things like problem solving, communication, collaboration taught? How are they assessed in the classroom? And it's interesting because we couldn't really come up with a real solution of how those things are, because those tend to be skills that we don't assess. Those are not going to be on the SBAC. And then we also looked at this video here, which you can see. If you click on that, it'll show you the difference between what project-based learning is and what it's not. So it gives a difference between project-based learning and project-oriented learning, which are two different things. So be sure to check that out as well. The other thing we looked at was question formulation technique, or QFT. So teachers ask questions based on this poster, which if we open that right there, you'll see that there's a difference between projects in the typical flow, which have the project at the very end. It's kind of like the culminating activity, versus PBL, where you can see that it's all over the place. A lot of conferences, a lot of feedback, a lot of mini lessons along the way. Inquiry is spread throughout, and you have the launch and the celebration at the end. It's very different. So I had teachers take a look at this as well, and then they looked at a 3-column grid, which looks like this, and I have that as part of your handout too. So ask as many questions as you can. Don't stop to discuss, judge, or answer your own questions. Just whatever comes up with as far as the project design elements, which is the 8 here, and also these ideas here. Like, what questions come to mind when you think about project ideas and design? I know when I went through PBL 101, I had a lot of questions on, how do you assess it? Specifically, if you're working with EL kids, I know that doesn't apply to Crestview, but how do they come in? And how do you manage a project, especially when all those moving parts are running around simultaneously? So those are the things that we were looking at as well. If we go back to this, we're looking at the gold standard PBL elements. So we dove into that and we jigsawed it. So each teacher took a portion of it, read it, went through it, highlighted the things that really stuck out to them, and then we shared it together and we looked at this page. Now this page you're going to see looks like this. So you're looking at the 8 different design elements, and within each of those, I'm asking you to just jot down what your teacher classmates are jigsawing. So like, what came up to them, what stuck out to you, and what they had to say. Sometimes you could draw a picture of what's representing there. But basically, at the end of the jigsaw, you'll have all 8 of these items filled out. So you'll have a really good foundation of what those 8 look like. And then at the very end, I had examples of projects for teachers to take home, just to kind of take a look at. They weren't like amazing, like totally full PBL units, but they were really good. They were a good start. And then the last thing that I wanted to say, I really reiterated this over and over, is that don't get bogged down by thinking that you have to launch a full unit right away. I mean, we are taking 6 weeks to go through this, but also if you want to kind of get started, the strongest recommendation from most people that are teaching PBL is that you take one project or lesson, something that you've done in the past that you really enjoyed and the kids really enjoyed, and then just tweak it a little bit. Enter one of those design elements. So maybe you enter voice and choice, and you give students, instead of this is the final task that everyone's going to do. Maybe you give them like 5 different options and they get to choose which one they want to do to show you that they learned the material. So that's just one example of what you could do. So something small, you don't have to go big right away, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming and scary. I hope this helped you, and let me know if you have any questions.